Everyone, I'm back with you again to do my next video in the series of my expression numbers. Now, I've already done the life paths. Now, this is the second most important number in any chart, is your expression number. Now, the life path number is the most important, all-important number in your life. It's the contract that you signed before you came to this incarnation, before you came to this lifetime. And every number within your chart should serve that life path. That's why they exist. So when you chose your path of development, i.e. your life path, you also discussed with your spirit guide the best kind of expression number that you could bring with you, that you as your soul experience is capable of achieving in this lifetime. So you chose your expression number to help you achieve your life path number. So if your name adds up, your full birth name adds up and reduces down to a 6, then your talent number or expression number is 6. Let's continue on. So I always give you a little bit of a rundown of the number energies, how 1 is the initial idea, 2 is the nurturer of the idea and the puller together of teams, the 3 executes the idea, the 4 puts that stable base around the idea, the 5 travels the idea, further communicates the idea to a wider community. The 6 energy then nurtures that community, the community that is created. The community of the world. The 6 energy is the idealist, the visionary, the nurturer, the person that wants to make their community and their whole world a better place. And that's your talent energy if you're an expression number 6. So let's work out the expression number as we always do first of all. So my first person here, this is her full name on her birth certificate, Anne Juliet Higgins, and as usual I'm going to take each name separately, add together and reduce down, and then add together at the end. I should do a better explanation than that. So I'm going to start with Anne, the first name. So we'll look at Anne first, and the A vibrates at the 1, the M vibrates at the 5. Okay, we add all these together, we get to an 11. That's a double number, but it's also a master number, so I'm not going to reduce that down any further. If you get an 11, a 22 or a 33, they are not to be reduced, they are master numbers. So I leave that at 11. Then I look down at the middle number, Juliet, and the 1 is the J, the 3 is the U. As you can imagine, each letter has its own vibration, and I add all these numbers up for Juliet and I get 30. Well, that's not a master number, so I'm going to continue adding until I get a single digit of 3. I do the same thing with the surname Higgins, add together the number energies for each individual letter. Here we get 46. Not a master number, so I'm going to continue adding and reducing until I get to a final single digit number, which is the 1. Then I take the number for each name, 11, 3 and 1, 11 plus 3 plus 1, and that gives us a 1-5 reduced to 6 expression number. So Anne Juliet Higgins' talent that she brought to this lifetime is the energy of the 156. Right, so the expression number 6 is talent that they brought with them to support your life path. Them, you, who hopefully you are an expression 6. You are a visionary. You're a visionary of that ideal, the perfect way that the world should be. But alongside that vision, you're also here to accept reality, which seems like opposite to being idealistic. So you have that dream, you have that vision. Everyone should have a dream and a vision, but the key is to be able to accept what actually is. You can work towards that ideal, you can champion that ideal, especially if it's for the good of man. But you must also accept the reality that this doesn't always happen in the ideal way. And even if it did, it wouldn't always be ideal. Since when does anything in this world stay the same? Anyway, that's a different conversation. So vision and acceptance is what you are as an expression or talent number 6. You're a visionary of that utopian world vision, keeping the flames of idealism alive. I mean, idealism, people say, can be dangerous, but without it, we wouldn't have any dreams, we wouldn't have any visions, and we wouldn't change. Everyone's got to have a vision. We need a vision of something perfect, but the key is not to allow when we don't get that ideal, or when our perfection is not met, the worst thing we can do is allow that to disappoint us or judge. If you're an expression 6, you have ideals and perfections about the world, and sometimes you can reconcile that reality because it is your talent number. The life path 6 struggles a lot more with this, but if you're a talent number 6, you're idealistic and you keep the flames of idealism alive, but you reconcile that with reality. You do realize that the ideal, the visionary, the perfect can't always and doesn't always happen, and you don't use that as a yardstick for unhappiness or for your happiness. You're a visionary of the perfect, the ideal. You call us to do our best. We must always do our best, look for the best and dream of the best. You have ideals of justice in this world, of form, of beauty, ideals of relationships, but you do need to apply a little bit more patience and realism. As a life path 6, you will struggle more with that, but as an expression number 6, you will have that talent of more patience. You will be more realistic, more flexible about the world and what other people or yourself can really offer that is realistic and not idealized or perfected. You're no longer using your dreams and your ideals or the loss of them as a yardstick for your happiness. You're happy to reconcile that the ideal is there, and it's good to have that ideal, but sometimes that ideal cannot be met by yourself, by others, by the world. You also understand, when you're in expression 6, that the problems we have in our lives are actually opportunities in disguise. Since when do we learn anything when we're in a state of utopia, or when we're laying on a beach just wishing the days away or doing things that we love? It's in our time of adversity that we often learn and evolve the most. It's not the nicest experience in the world, but if you can reframe your obstacles and your issues that you have, reframe them as opportunities to learn and evolve, it can make your path an easier one. But this is your talent. So as an expression 6, use this talent. Problems are opportunities in disguise. They don't have to be seen or used in a negative. And acceptance that things go wrong, acceptance that not everything's ideal, acceptance that there is no perfection, and even if we did reach it, would we stay there? I doubt it. And what is perfection? I haven't figured it out yet. And the acceptance of that forms the bridge to a happier, more joyful life. You'll be less judgmental of yourself, less disappointed with yourself, others and the world. And you have this talent in the 6. Sometimes you'll swing towards judging yourself and judging others, but as an expression 6, you have an ability here to be a visionary, but also to accept and work around it when it doesn't always happen. You accept that life is unfolding just how it should. We're all works in progress at the end of the day, here to learn and evolve. If the world was a utopia, what would we learn? I think the world's got to be a bit hard, and the world's got to have everything within it, both good and bad, hot and cold. It's all got to be there for us to be able to experience it all. The universe exists in perfect balance, negative and positive, and all are needed to help us learn and evolve. When you get to this stage, and as an expression number 6, you are talented at this. When you've reconciled those high ideals, when you realise that obstacles in life are there to help us evolve, when you realise the world isn't meant to be a perfection of the world, you overcome those self-judgments. You overcome judgments of others. You overcome judging and being disappointed with the world that it isn't how you think it should be. The world is unjust. You know, the world always has been unjust. But you realise that it's who you are in this world that matters. How you live your life, how you follow your path, and how you treat others. And it's not necessarily your worldly success or your own perceived success or failure that matters. It's who you are. You're a giver as well. But you've gained healthy balance between giving and receiving. A life path 6 often gives too much, can be a bit of a meddler, push in a little bit too much, you know, get a bit too involved with other people's lives. And, you know, that can burn a 6 out. And they're doing too much anyway. But if you're a talent expression number 6, you're a giver. But you've gained that healthy balance between giving and receiving. You know when to stop and step back and take that rest. You know when to stop meddling and realise that you've helped enough. You don't need to continue that. What else do you bring? You're a visionary. You're always working hard for a better world. You want to help the less fortunate. You know, you think about the idea of going off to far off lands and helping people less fortunate to build wells and build houses and plant crops so that they can have a better life. You inspire others. You give them hope. You give them direction for a better future. You're a humanitarian, a healer, an unselfish, service-orientated nurturer. You're a cause fighter, a justice seeker, but also a mediator and a bit of an advisor as well. Very mature, very guidance related. People look to you naturally. It can mean that sometimes when you're a talent number 6 that people that are a little bit needy can be drawn to you because they see or they unconsciously feel your nurturing energy. And that's going to be an issue for you as you go on through your life, is realizing, am I just helping needy people here? You know, you don't want to be in a relationship where you are always the one helping needy people. You know, you want to have a balanced relationship. Anyway, I'm digressing. You bring harmony, you bring peace, justice, truth. You're the kind of mum figure who, you know, you go home in the evening and the house is warm and you can smell dinner and everyone's happy and comfortable and you all sit down together as a comfortable family. The secure home family unit where everyone is nurtured is very much the expression, vibration of the 6. You know, you're honest, you're charitable, you're faithful, you look out for others, you want to help less vulnerable people. You have a strong passion and emotional depth, but you want peace, you want compromise, you hate, you know, you're not one for arguments, you know, you prefer to mediate them and get them sorted, or, you know, just run away from them really. You're not one for arguments and drama. It really gets on your nerve. And sometimes you struggle if you're in a judgmental frame of mind, not to judge others for how they are and, you know, get stroppy about how they are. You know, we're all different. We're all on a different path, and there's people that are going to annoy you in your life. Anyway, you know it's who you are that matters, not how well you do, not who you know. It doesn't matter. It's about how you live your life and how you treat other people. Your talent in the 6 has musical abilities. You know, if you're not a musician, you'll be a great singer. But you don't often use that. The 6 is more of a nurturer and a family person, and they often don't take their musical ability forward like they could. You know, you do have a very deep, strong talent for music if you're an expression number 6. You love beauty, artistry, home furnishings, making your house look nice, making yourself look nice, makeup, fashion, hair. You just love beauty and dazzle and looking good and making your environment look good. You're family orientated, like I said. You're the home bird, responsible, sensible, parental, nurturing, loving, warm, social, outgoing, compassionate. You build close, sincere relationships. You're a supportive leader. You're very encouraging. You're a loyal friend. You know, it's great to have an expression 6 as a friend. You're a good provider. You want and need a stable home. You need and want the deep love of your family, and you love the unconditional love of being in a family unit, and you want to make it more nurturing and comfortable by making it warm, secure, loving, and baking lovely food for everyone to feel fat and happy in. You're an extrovert, you're a natural nurturer, you're a carer, and you're a bit of a fixer. Be careful, don't do too much for others. You know, your nurturing way and your motherly way that you have about you, you know, sometimes you can do too much for other people and give too much to other people and then burn yourself out. Make sure you're saying no when you need to say no and looking after yourself when you need to look after yourself. Because like they say, you can't care for anyone if you're ill yourself. You're a responsible carer. You could be a teacher. You're quite conventional. You're a provider and you're a perfecter. You remember, you like the security of a home. When you struggle, you're very idealistic, and a 6 that's really struggling might not be always grounded in reality. You need to overcome some quite strong elements of idealism that aren't always rooted in good perspective or context. But as an expression 6, you're better at this than a life path 6 would be, because remember, this is your talent. So you're more grounded in reality than a life path 6 would be, but you do swing to and fro depending on how low or how good or how high vibrational or low vibrational you're feeling within a day. So when you're having a low day, you might not always be grounded in reality. You might have to overcome some ideals that may not be rooted in realism. You have idealized views that lack discrimination, perspective, and because of that, you expect what can't happen and you become disappointed. You become judgmental of yourself, of others, of the world and the way it is, and that can really bring you down if you let it. You're quite demanding because you're so perfectionistic. You have a vision of perfection for everything, which can make you quite sort of nitpicky and pessimistic and demanding, because that's not quite right, but that's not quite right. But you realise if you look at the big picture of the situation, actually it's quite a good situation, or it's quite nice. Stop nitpicking and being demanding and pessimistic. I know, my daughter is a 6. Say no more. You can lose the big picture. You can focus too much on the perfect little nitpick details and get caught up in that and miss that you've actually done quite a good job. There was just a few nitpicky things, that was all. Stop being so perfectionistic and enjoy your success. Enjoy what you do well. It's not always going to be exactly perfect. You've got to stop beating yourself up and beating everyone else up and telling the world off for not being perfect. Alongside this, you end up, because you've got perfections, it's like self-imposed pressure and stress that you put on yourself because you set the bar too high for yourself, and then you put pressure on yourself, and this can cause health complaints, asthma, respiratory disorders, anxiety. It can cause no end of issues. You need to take full account of what you really feel, of what you really think, and really think about the realism of things that happen, of your ideals, and how you react to them. You know, it can get to the point where your ideals are so strong that you quit because you feel you don't measure up. If I don't try, then I can't lose kind of mentality, because you feel that if I try anyway, I'll lose, and I'd rather not try than fail. You know, that's not good for a 6 to do that. You know, I'm going to wag my finger at you now if you are doing that as an expression, or even a life path 6. But if you're a life path 6, you're allowed to struggle at this because this is your development point. But if you're an expression number 6, you should be using these talents to your advantage. However, we all know that we all have up and down days, and this is a 6, an expression 6, when they're not feeling so good. But there's going to be some elements of this that you're good at and some elements of this that you're not so good at. And the same if you're a life path. You know, we're not all the same in how we express it. Anyway, I've got to stop gabbling. So what type of 6 are you? So what I've been talking about is the 6, the generic talents of the 6 energy, but you might be a 1-5-6, you might be a 2-4-6, you might be a 5-1-6. What type of talent expression 6 are you? So I'm going to start with 1-5-6. So as an expression number 1-5-6, if 1-5-6 is who you are, you're a talented visionary. You're not working towards working past your ideals. You've got that talent already. You're a talented visionary of a better world, and you reconcile those visions with high ideals, with practical reality, and you accept yourself, the world, and the present moment, safe in the knowledge that life is perfect the way it is. Life isn't meant to be a utopia. It's meant to be a school. But to achieve this, you need to look at your sub-lessons of the 5 most importantly and the 1, okay? Because the sub-lessons are like your steps that you take to achieve your talent number 6. So if you're a 1-5-6, you develop focus on a specialism, on a particular passion. You know, you stop being scattered about your interests and you focus on one thing that you study to the point of such specialism that you understand how all your other interests were all linked. You know, you become a specialist in your subject, and then you can advance this specialism in the 1 energy with realistic, because of the 6, innovative new ideas. So a 1-5-6 who is top of their game, expressing their talent energy to the full. You realise that reality must always be considered and accepted. You're a visionary of something better, but you realise that it doesn't always happen like that, and you're quite happy to accept that. You realise that we're all a work in progress towards our own personal evolution. We must experience and learn from obstacles and successes. You understand that in a deep way if you're a 1-5-6. You've overcome your perfectionist tendencies by remembering the big picture and the real priorities that you're here to achieve rather than nitpicking petty details. You have a specialism that you've studied so deeply that the reality of the situation, you can't be idealistic when you've studied something so deeply. You've studied it so deeply that you've realised that the reality of that situation is hard to dismiss, which supports then, as well as the 6 energy of being, what can I say, accepting the reality as it is. You've studied something so strong that you can't dismiss that. And you're also evolving this specialism with realistic, groundbreaking, innovative ideas that you express confidently. So you're here to be realistic, to be a visionary, but a realistic visionary, to use your specialism, your talent and your specialism alongside innovative ideas to support and help your life path, whatever that may be. 2-4-6. The same, because you're both expression 6s. You're a talented visionary of a better world. You reconcile your visions with your ideals. You accept the world and the present moment, that all is as it should be. But you have different sub-lessons. You have the 4 and the 2. So the way that the 2-4-6 expression energy manifests is you have a firm grip in the 4 of practical reality, more so than any other number, because the 4 is very grounded. You have a step-by-step plan in the 4 energy, perseverance and a hard, strong work ethic. So you're a visionary of your ideals, and to achieve that talent, to express and manifest that talent, you show energy in the 4 and then the 2, which is the step-by-step plan, the goal achievement, the hard work, and the perseverance until the goal is achieved. And then in the 2, you also use social skills, tact, diplomacy, and you get the job done behind the scenes. So a expression number 246 that is achieving their path beautifully, or supporting their life path and using all their talents, realizes that reality must always be considered and accepted like any talented 6 would. You realize that we're all a work in progress, working towards our own spiritual evolution. Again, this is the 6. This is a high vibrational, talented 6. We must experience and learn from our obstacles and successes. And, you've overcome your perfectionist tendencies by remembering the big picture and not nitpicking petty details. But you do so slightly differently to the 156. You have a realistic plan in the 4 energy, a watertight, step-by-step process to ensure that you build a strong, secure, stable foundation. That's the 4 energy, most important step. And then you have the social skills to support the team in achieving this in the 2. So the expression 6, like any expression 6, is great at reconciling their ideals, but the 246 does it with goal achievement, perseverance, hard work, teamwork, and tact and diplomacy. The 33-6 master number. Now, it's about the 33 really when it comes to this number, because it's always the 33 master energy that comes first. Now, in all the other life paths, the importance of the numbers start on the right-hand side. So going from the right-hand side, the 6 being the most important, and then the sub-lessons after. But when it's a master number, these double numbers come first. These are the big important, the double energy of 3. Now, when you're if you have the energy of an expression number 33-6, excuse me, I always have to scratch my nose a lot when I'm in here. The air's very dry. Anyway, so anyone that has a master energy in their chart, life path expression, especially life path, but expression 2, you're an old soul. When you're a master number, you're very close to ascension. The veil between you and the spirit world is a lot thinner. You're highly sensitive, very perceptive, intuitive, empathic, and often psychic. And the double 3, you have double the need to utilize your emotional sensitivity to bring positive self-expression to the world through performance, through public speaking, art, music, anything really that requires expression. Normally it's verbal, but it can be anything that is expression to heal, to entertain, to inspire. But you reconcile your visions and your high ideals. You're a talented visionary, remember, in the higher vibration of the 6. So not only are you an emotional performer and a speaker, you're a talented visionary of a better world. So you can heal with your words, and you're also a visionary to heal, teach others. I think the 33 is very much a master healer, very much a master teacher, almost like a what do they call it? Like a Christ consciousness, very much a healer and server of humanity. Because when you're a master number, you're here to do something big. You're not here to just in the 3 energy. You're looking at maybe an audience, a small audience. When you're a 33, we're thinking world audience here. You're here to do something big. You're here, whether you express yourself through performance, speaking, with your words, with your art, and then expressing your talented visions, your ideals, your ideals and visions of a better world. You reconcile your visions with and your high ideals with reality. Of course you do. You're 33, much more talented. And you know that life is perfect the way it is, and we're meant to be working through life and evolving. You're parental, you're responsible nurturer, always wanting to help the less fortunate in that 6 energy. Remember, you are a healer and a teacher and a helper of mankind. You have a very, very, very big talent in this lifetime that you can use to support your life path. Actually, this talent might be too much and more than your life path needs. Because the 33-6 is a very, very, very difficult energy to have. I mean, your nervous energy must be through the roof. So an expression number master 33-6, who is vibrating at your top and using every element of your talent, you use your heightened perceptions, intuition, psychic ability to connect and express yourself to your audience like a rock star, an emotional actor, a compelling public speaker, a physical expressive artist, with others hanging on your every word. Because you have the ability to connect with others deeply through your creative expression, through your emotional creative expression. You communicate emotionally with others and with your audience. You realize also that reality must always be considered and accepted. You realize that we're all a work in progress. We're all on our own spiritual path of evolution, and we must experience and learn from the obstacles and successes that we go through in our life. So you're a talented performer and a healer and a teacher, but a very realistic one. This is a very, very strong talent to have. And because it's the top master number, it's very likely that the energy of your 33-6 is going to, unless you're a life path master energy, which may not necessarily be too good for you because of the energy involved, but you're going to find that your talent in this lifetime is immense and wide, and could overpower your life path, because the expression number 33-6 is the strongest number in numerology. You know, it's the last master number. Anyway, stop gabbling. 42-6. So, as an expression 6, you're that talented visionary. You accept the world is already perfect because you know it's here to teach us. Just like a talented 6 idealist, visionary, but accepting of reality would be. But you do it with the 2 first and then the 4. The other one I did earlier, the 4 was most important because it was 2, 4, 6. But this time, this expression number, it's flipped the other way. So to express and manifest your talent energy in the 6, you do it with the energy of the 2 and the energy of the 4. So if I'm talking about an expression number 42-6, you're a talented visionary. But to achieve this, you use your excellent social skills, tact and diplomacy in the 2. And you get the job done behind the scenes, and you don't need the accolades. You know, you'll just get the job done and make sure everything runs smoothly. And then secondly, you keep a firm grip on your practical reality, keep your goals going, step-by-step plan, perseverance and a hard work ethic. It's just that sub-lessons spun the other way round. So you need to be an idealistic visionary, but realistic, but do so by working with others and setting yourself goals and working hard to achieve them. So an expression 42-6 that is at the top of their game, using every element of their talent, you realize that reality must always be considered and accepted. You realize that we're all a work in progress towards our own personal evolution. You realize that we must experience and learn from our obstacles and successes, because that's when we learn the most. You've overcome your perfectionist tendencies by remembering the big picture and the real priorities rather than them nitpicky, petty little details that you can sometimes get lost in and then forget that actually you did really, really well. Stop beating yourself up. Anyway, you have the social skills to support the team in the 2 energy, and you make things happen. But you do so with a realistic plan, a watertight step-by-step process, and you ensure you build a strong, stable foundation. Last but not least, the 5-1-6. So the talented visionary of the better world in the 6, like they're always going to be. Practical realist and safe in the knowledge that the world is, you'd love it to be ideal, but it's just not going to be like that. And you understand that. That's in your talents. But you do so first and most importantly, you manifest that 6 expression with the energy of the 1 first and foremost, and then the 5. Remember the one before, it was 5 156, but this time the numbers are flipped the other way and they change in importance. So a 516 expression's most important step is the 1 and then the 5. So you're a talented visionary, but to achieve this you channel and use realistic, innovative, new ideas that you channel from source in the 1 energy. And then in the 5 energy, use your focus and discipline on a specialism. So that specialism can help feed your innovation, because we have to know a lot about a subject before we can be innovative, right? You've got to understand and evaluate and know something deeply before you can be innovative. Same thing really, innovative and focused on a specialism is what a 516 needs to be. So an expression number 516 that is showing all elements of their talent and supporting their life path, hopefully beautifully, you realise that reality has got to be considered like a talented 6, and it needs to be accepted. You realise that we're all a work in progress. The world isn't meant to be perfect. We're all working towards our own evolution at totally different rates. We must experience and learn from all the obstacles and the successes, but mostly the obstacles is what we learn from, if we're honest with ourselves. You've overcome your perfectionism. You're not so nitpicky and demanding, because you remember the big picture and the real priorities rather than the nitpick petty details, and you don't let that get to you. You have realistic, groundbreaking ideas that you express confidently in that 1 energy. And you do it from a specialism, from a focus that you've studied so deeply that the reality of that situation is hard to dismiss. That's if you're a 516 talent expression number. Now, I hope you found my video really useful today. If you haven't already, please like and click that thumbs up button on my video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and click that bell icon, because I'm always uploading new videos for you guys to find interesting. So if you'd like to contact me, you can go to my website, soulexplorer.net, or you can email me at katie@soulexplorer.net, or you can contact me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or Twitter. Now, as ever, guys, trust the soul within you. Only your own perceptions and intuitions knows best. See you soon.